Welcome back to Life Along the Streetcar, a podcast where we cover all the social, economic, and cultural events happening in Tucson's urban core from A Mountain to the University of Arizona. All episodes available on lifealongthestreetcar.org, and you can catch us live on Sundays, 11 a.m. on Downtown Radio, 99.1 FM, and that streams on downtownradio.org. And today, I'm excited. I got two guests coming in here today. I was trying to think of a catchy name because they both begin with B, but I was like, I'm going to forget that. I'm calling them libation leaders because apparently I'm just finding out that if you've had a beverage in the downtown or 4th Avenue area, you've probably been at one of their locations. But we've got Brendan Scott and Billy Elliott. Welcome in.
Thanks for having us.
All right. So we have a project that you're working on together, which I want to discuss, but let's start at the far end over here with Mr. Elliott. Elliott's on Congress, has been downtown
since May of 2012.
Okay, so short while.
Years.
So you're kind of working through the incubation
coming up on
period.
14 years. Wow, crazy. Every year it blows my mind.
There's a party coming up.
Elliott's has been great. I mean, it's so much fun. I mean, we focus on the infused vodkas. You know all about it.
Well, I do, but everyone else doesn't.
That's true. So
how does somebody get into infused vodkas?
Yeah, it's been a staple of ours since we opened, and now we have over 20 flavors. So ranging from jalapeno and habanero, if you like spice, strawberry, raspberry, blueberry are the most popular. You got unique flavors like horseradish, bacon, peppercorn, basil, mint, cucumber, lots of fun stuff. Kind of choose your own adventure as a customer. You come in and I want my Bloody Mary with garlic and jalapeno, know, XYZ. Yeah, you go crazy.
And then you create cocktails then kind of like a chef would look at all your ingredients. Well, I've got some habanero and some basil. We're going to make a little spicy cocktail.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the jalapeno vodka has been our most popular drink since we opened. It's kind of like a margarita, but with jalapeno vodka.
And the world famous BAMs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we call it an Elliott's bomb. You know, it's something that originated over 20 years ago at Bison Witches. We were doing these, and they call them BAMs. So on 4th Avenue, they call them BAMs. Downtown, we call them bombs. It's just this thing that you find them all over town, but it's a splash of lemonade, splash of Red Bull with your favorite flavor. So, strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, like I said, are the most popular. You kind of serve it like a mind eraser over ice with a straw, and you slam it, and it's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
Just nice. For a nice casual evening out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way to start.
But how do you get into infused vodkas? Was this just something he's like, oh, I want to put things in vodka, or is this where does it come from?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of restaurants that have one or two flavors, and you see a big jar on the shelf. And you say, oh, what's that? We got these for Bloody Mary. Peppercorns and jalapenos and whatnot. And so you see that around town. And we just decided when we opened up, let's exploit this. So when we first opened in 2012, we only had 8 flavors, and then it grew and grew and grew, and then you tried some that didn't stick. Most of them did. The fact of the matter is that vodka being a neutral spirit, it just takes to whatever flavor you put in it. It's so good for mixing. I mean, the word vodka comes from voda, means water in Russian. It's supposed to be odorless, flavorless, tasteless. That's the goal when you make vodka. Okay. So it takes to whatever you mix with it, whatever you put in it. So we just throw all natural ingredients, Jalapenos, we core out the seeds, throw them in there, let it sit, strain them out through a coffee filter so you're not getting a chunk of jalapeno in your drink, and the flavor sticks, With the berries, same thing. Mm-hmm. Fresh strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, put them in there, strain them out, and it takes to the color. The blueberry is like this deep purple. It's delicious, it's amazing. And they're not overly sweet, so that's the funny thing. I'll order somebody a shot of strawberry vodka. They're thinking, oh, it's like pink and red. It's going to be sweet. No. It's not. It's still straight vodka, but it's got that strawberry flavor, So they're not, heavy on the sugar. They're true to the vodka and the flavor. And then with the jalapeno, like I said, we core out the seeds, so it's more on the mild side. People came in when we first opened and said, well, that's not hot enough. So we said, well, okay. We're going to do
Challenge
habanero.
Accepted.
Habanero, we just give it a rough chop, and we leave the seeds in there, leave the membrane in, and that is hot. Nice. That is,
nice.
Burn your pants off,
as it did yours. So, Brendan, you've got a few different concepts. Like, where do we start? What's been open the longest?
So I started with the Territorial, but I sold that. That was 2007. I had the Bandit, the Bambi, Boxyard. Those have all been sold. Mm-hmm. Currently, we have John Henry's and Trackside. And then Billy and I are in this new one, stage left, next to the Rialto downtown. Nice. That is exciting for us.
So you guys come from these different backgrounds. How do you know each other? How did you get together to work on stage left?
I mean, we've become a lot closer since October, I'll say. You know, we knew each other in passing, so many mutual friends. You know, he'd come in Elliott's, I'd stop by John Henry's. You know, I knew him back when he opened the box yard. So we've known each other for years, but just kind of, you know, see each other once every couple months, have a drink together. Now, all of a sudden, we're just like so aligned in the way we look at this industry. And we kind of have this idea of, you know, rising tide raises all ships, right? I mean, he said that when we first started, and I fully agree. I want downtown to be the destination, you know? So I don't look at any of these businesses as competition. I think the more we have going in the right direction, the better it is, as you know about downtown, right?
Yeah, I remember I was interviewing Chris Squires from 1055, and there were a lot of craft beers coming on at the time, and I said, is it too much? And he said, there's never too many if they're good. Like if it's good, it brings people in. If
That's
they're
a
not
good way to say it.
if there's not good, then yeah, it's bad. But if you can bring in quality, then there's always room at the top for that. But how did this concept come up? You just having a drink and say, hey, let's open a bar together?
Well, Don Martin, I'll say, is a hell of a character. And he, you know, there was a change of ownership that just happened. So
we're talking about the location that was the Good Oak Bar.
It was a Good Oak Bar right next to the Rialto, and it's connected with Jaime's Pizza Kitchen. And so it's all on one liquor license, basically one business, one lease. And so with the change of ownership, Don Martin now owning it, he looked at Good Oak and said, it needs to be more inviting. We need a rebrand. And that's where I say we were kind of like-minded. We both came to him in different conversations and said, yeah, we need to open it up. We need to get rid of these curtains. We need to tear down this wall. We need to make it more inviting. We need TVs. You know, we got U of A sports on, you know, make it inviting, make it music themed. We're right next to the Rialto. Make it the prices more comfortable, right? Sure. And
meet the customers where they're at, get some recognizable brands that they're all familiar with. Before it was a little more, it was a bit out of reach for the common drinker.
It was awesome. They did great things, but it was a very exclusive kind of niche, right? And so
you both go to Don separately, and
Don came to us separately, and we found out through a little conversation amongst ourselves that we were having the same conversation. So why not team up?
Nice.
Yeah, we've got obviously other stuff going on, so it's kind of nice not to have the full commitment alone. So this teamwork turned out to be pretty, and we have a third partner, Anthony Paps, who we got to mention, who's pretty great also in bringing this little tripod all together.
And Anthony couldn't join us because he was gallivanting across New Orleans or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're saying his background is in, he goes all the way back to New York culinary scene. So he's
absolutely a lot of experience, restaurants and bars in New York City. And then through the liquor industry, I mean, he's been with distributors, he's been with suppliers. He's currently working with Sovereign Brands. So Bamboo Rum, which is incredible. I mean, he brings a lot to the table, and he's just more kind of on trend, if you will.
And his last name is Paps, the beer brand. They sold it, his family, back in, the 60s?
Yeah, he's connected. Yeah, he's connected
before they blew up,
Pabst Blue
unfortunately.
Ribbon.
Okay. Yeah. If they still had it, we'd be having this conversation on a little private island somewhere.
Then, you know, these evolutions are always surprising not surprising, but I guess they intrigue me, because territorial, you've been doing stuff in downtown in this area since 2007.
We bought, I think, Lindy's. I had Lindy's. We bought that in 2006. So yeah, that was the beginning on 4th Avenue.
Yeah. And then you've been 2012, 2013.
Since 2012. And before that, I was bartending at Bison Witches for 8 years, from 2003 to 2011.
That was going to be my next question, is like, what got you into the ownership? So you were at Bison Witches serving those tiny sandwiches?
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're known for, being small, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big sandwiches, and like we said, the bombs. You know, that's
BAMs.
The BAMs.
The BAMs.
Yeah, they've evolved as well. But
so typically, you took all of their intellectual property, and then you just moved across the street and opened up. We'll call it bombs.
It is funny. Every bartender has a different story of how it started, right? You know, everybody's like, "No, I created that." But anyway, no, we had so much fun at Bison Witches, and I just, at some point, if you bartend long enough, you want to do it for yourself, right?
Sure.
And so when the opportunity came along downtown. In 2012, downtown looked a lot different.
I was going to say, what did that
now.
opportunity look like? Because it was not like...
So the building that Elliott's is in was a stake in the neighborhood, and they lasted less than 2 years, and they closed. And when I dealt with the landlord, he just wanted somebody that could pay the rent. And so it wasn't exactly a turnkey operation, but it was pretty ready to go. I didn't have to do any construction. It wasn't a huge investment. So I had a really nice opportunity. And like I said, downtown, that was during the construction of the streetcar. So the first 5 months we were open, we did not have a street in front of us. It was just dirt and construction.
But you probably had a nice chain link fence or something.
We did have a chain link fence. That's right. Yes. And you didn't want to go outside and breathe in the air. Right. Anyway, so that 2012 was very challenging, but my wife and I just jumped in and said, hey, we have confidence in ourselves. We want to try this infused vodka concept. We want to have some fun food to go with it. Here we are, 13 and a half years later, still doing it.
In 2006 gets you started, but what was your background before that? Were you in food service, or because it seems like your path has been more entrepreneurial, like opening, creating, selling, moving on?
Yeah, I was a bartender throughout college. So O'Malley's was the last one. I was on 4th Avenue, and then graduated, and I got into mortgages actually at first, but then commercial real estate was my primary. Okay. So I was a partner with a local company who dissolved in 2007, 2008, the financial crisis. And it left me with these investments that I had, which were a few bars and restaurants. I still do development. We're actually redeveloping 72 East Congress. We're doing the Indian Trading Post.
Oh, okay.
A couple other little things. That one's a cool one. We got Cornish pasties.
I was going to say that's going to be the pasties.
Yeah. So that's exciting. We're trying to get them hopefully moved in this year. And open.
Just a little side note, I think I am responsible for that because I had a pasty for the first time in Phoenix with a friend of mine. I was like, these are fantastic. I wish there was one in Tucson. And then like 3 days later in the paper, they're like, hey, the Trading Post is being turned into Cornish. I was like, thank you. So
I need to know where I pay the commission. So now
you are welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I brought it into the universe.
Yeah.
But all these concepts though that you've talked about, Box Yard, I didn't realize that you had sold that, but that was such a creative design for that space at the time.
I'd wanted to work with traveling overseas. You see a lot of containers. You see those repurposed differently than they have different lives than they usually do in the United States. Anyways, and since we had that concept, I think I was running with that concept since like early 2000s. You see a lot more uses of them here in the States, but they're still, I think, underutilized. I thought it would just be a fun project. So we got that property, and I invited a partner in who owns a DMI contracting. It's a design modular. So he and I built that whole thing through his company. So.
I think I mentioned before we got on the air, we actually interviewed someone at Box Yard back in 2019. It was a fairly new concept at the time.
Yeah, I think we opened 17 or 18. Yeah.
Yeah. So we in talking, I think one of the things that I enjoyed, and I might have this completely wrong because I don't do any research, but there was a lot that had a food truck on it for the longest time, and that food truck became the first tenant of Box Yard, if I remember correctly. It's like you weren't displacing anyone; you just sort of built around them and said, "Welcome in." I thought that was such a fabulous story.
Yeah. So the story behind that is I had that land for such a long time, and I'm just paying on it month after month. So New Lin, the Vietnamese food truck, came through, and they were just kind of offsetting a few $100s worth of my, taxes and whatnot that I had to pay into that place on a monthly basis until we got it going. But yes, they were and still are a tenant there.
And it's just fabulous. You talk so many times about economic development and displacement, and I always point back to that story as there's a way that you can incorporate that, right? You don't have to push someone off. You create something, and then they can be a part of it. And I'm sure that
100%. And
they've been a lot more successful because of it too.
Yeah. And the idea behind it ultimately is this is an incubator space for something bigger. They go brick and mortar on their own afterwards. So they actually are or were in the process. I haven't talked to them in a little bit since I sold, but looks like these guys are moving on.
Good.
Yeah, bigger and better things out there.
Incubators. We're lucky here in Tucson. We've got a few. Billy and I really got to know each other through the proper shops. That was an incubator for us as the Tucson Gallery, and we wouldn't be where we are if we didn't have that opportunity to figure it out. We're not like Billy just taking the leap and say, I'll do it. Take a little more baby steps. And then before we get back to stage left, we were talking also, you have Trackside, which is on 4th Avenue. Then that's the old the Coronado Hotel.
Exactly, yeah. Corner 4th and 9th. Changing the name to Dean's Public House in the next month or so. Dean is the manager over there. He's been doing a great job. And
may I just say another breaking news story here on Life Along the Streetcar.
You heard it here first.
It was brilliant. Also, the way he did it, he approached us at our holiday party, and he came with a sweatshirt that had his new logo on it, which is a wolf in sheep's clothing, which I think is brilliant.
Oh, that's great.
and it says Dean's Public House, and he says, it's time to change the name and take over a different identity because we bought it as Trackside and we've always wanted to do something different. So he presented it. He did all the work going into the new logo, so it was just the right time. I had enough cocktails in me that night also to say it's an easy yes. So he's in the transition of rebranding and so hopefully by it'll be up and running before the NCAA tournament.
Nice.
As Dean's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's still up and running as
It is currently, but we're doing some new furniture, some new TVs, just some small stuff to kind of give it a different identity.
One thing that seems fairly common among, and maybe this is just the locations, but your businesses, they're smaller footprints, but you pack a lot into each one of them, right? They're not like you with your patio. You just expanded your patio.
Yeah, actually at Elliott's, that's something we've been working on a long time. During COVID, everybody got kind of the freedom to do an expansion of sorts, and that was very temporary setup. I built the fences myself for that, so I knew that wasn't going to last forever. So we had that for 3 years, but over the last 2 years, I've been working with the city, and that's a process. You got to jump through some hoops. There's frustrations with that, and but man, I can't say enough about Chris Smith, who he does all the metal work. Smitty Built Co. is his company, and he built the most beautiful designed fence for our expanded patio. It's a streetery style, which means it's out in the parking space in front of Elliott's. So we've got expanded space out there. Pet friendly. You can go out there and smoke, have a beer and a smoke, and enjoy the nice weather. I mean, especially this time of year.
Did you still have the patio right outside the door too? Correct?
Yeah, we've got the small patio that we've always had, but that's only room for like really one table. This expanded patio has 6 more tables, so it's a huge upgrade for us.
This looks like the space where Elliott's is, where John Henry's, Trackside. These are all like smaller places that, but when you go in, it's the outdoor space that's been really utilized, especially at Dean's Public House. That patio is fabulous too.
We are so excited about that patio. Yeah, Boxyard kind of showed us the secret sauce that people want to be outside more than I expected them to be. So 300 days a year, we've got a great spot for them to sit.
Yeah, and now then jumping back to the partnership, you guys are having these conversations with Don. Have a cocktail at some point. You're like, hey, wait a minute. You're working on what project?
Yeah. Well, it was funny. We had a conversation. I think we sat down at Elliott's for about an hour and a half, and we were both hesitant, but we kind of convinced each other that, because when you're the owner,
because this is the first time we're working for or with somebody else as opposed to for ourselves.
Right. Right. That's what I was going to say. As having no partners and nobody to answer to, like at Elliott's.
I've met your wife.
Yeah. I got somebody to answer to. Correct. But you know what I mean? It's like when you own it, you kind of just feel this freedom, this creative freedom of, I want to run this special. I want to do this. We're going to do this drink. We're going to do $1 drinks tonight because anyway. All right, sorry. I wasn't supposed to curse. Anyway, you have the creative freedom as an owner, whereas when you've got partners and a boss or an owner above you, we're hesitant in that sense, but we kind of convince each other like, man, this guy Don is great. His vision aligns with what we would do here. We want to work with him. And I don't think of him as a boss. I keep using the word partners. We're partners.
100%. We are partners. And we did this also because Stage Left is the carrot on the end of the string. If we get this one kind of profitable, and we're doing pretty good so far, there's a lot of other things that follow. There's the Don Martini Club upstairs, which we are looking at commercializing. There's the patio outside, which we are doing a temporary lease for March, April, May on, and just see if we can monetize that. The old Scrappy's building in back, partnership with the Rialto, that whole block can come together in this way that creates a lot of cool new things for the community.
It's interesting looking at what the team at Highwire did by pulling all of those units around that patio. I was thinking, because I have zero experience in this, that would make sense for there if Scrappy's is activated, that parking lot maybe gets anyway.
Talking about making that parking lot a little kind of park system. There's some other things we probably can't talk too much about, but
Oh, sure you can.
There's
no
ways.
No one listens. This is just for my information.
If we sign contracts, we can talk about it more in detail, but hopefully there's a way that all the businesses interact together.
And are these things that you see the two of yourselves partnering on?
Yes.
This Stage Left is it's not just for the the foundation for a business, the foundation for this partnership too.
Correct. And that's part of the reason why we decided to work with somebody else and each other, just because there's so much there that we couldn't do individually.
Yeah. And I think when you look at some of the bigger things in downtown, there's different partners involved with it. You know, this group has their set of interests, and this group has their set of interests. And then together they've created, you know, hotels and things of that nature, when it's kind of hard to go into that by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But that courtyard, just to get back to that, I mean, so much potential in that courtyard, and it's kind of hidden. Yeah. It's been underutilized for years, as you know, being at the proper shops for so long. It's such a cool space. What we could do with that, we're going to do this trial period that he said for a few months and try to run some events, some small, some big, and see what its potential is, you know? So,
and we only have like 5 events. This is like last week, but Michelada contest is coming up. We're going to bring 12 bars together.
Nice.
We have a couple DJ sets. We're talking to some bands and that kind of stuff. I don't know where I was really going with this. If you guys have any options,
I have an idea for you, and this is something that's been in my mind for a while. When you go to some of these cities, every bar serves a version of a certain cocktail. Mm-hmm. I think we should have some kind of cocktail named after the streetcar, that you have a competition and everyone on the streetcar route can participate. I can find some sponsors to put up like some prize money. And then at the end of the day, whatever that winning recipe is, that each bar agrees to serve some version of that in their bar. They don't have to serve it exactly like this, but if the ingredients are these 3 things, then you have to figure out how to incorporate those 3 things for your version of the streetcar. And we
love it.
Did we just get a new event?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pick a date between March 1st and May 30th, and it's yours.
I was thinking mid-July. That seems to do.
Yeah, right.
Well, we'll talk about that. But I always thought that would be a fun idea, so that you could, you know, go down and see, you know, taste each other's version of that. Like, you know, New Orleans, everyone has their. Anyway,
I like that.
I think it's brilliant.
Also, it would bring everybody. I mean, everybody kind of wants to have a community shared experience. I mean, especially all the bartenders and bars and whatnot. So yeah, that would be kind of a, I think, an easy one to
since the 2 of you own most of the bars now, apparently in Fourth Avenue.
Not yet.
Well, like I said, rising tide raises all ships, right? Yeah. Everybody along the streetcar should be aligned in wanting us all to do well. We've talked about doing a bar crawl where, yeah, of course we would include the bars that we own, but we want to invite every other bar and say, hey, sometimes a company that's based out of Texas runs a bar crawl, and they try to sell tickets that they're charging a cover charge to a bar that doesn't charge a cover, right? They're trying to make money from, 400 miles away. This is crazy. Like, why don't the bars that own the bars get together and do a community along the streetcar? You know, nobody's driving. You go up and down. I mean, we did a walking tour early December to try to pump up this holiday party that we were throwing at Stage Left, and we had a blast. I mean, we hit 10 different spots, and we were kind of handing out flyers and like, hey, we're here. We're Stage Left. Like, come check us out, you know, a good industry bar. And we weren't trying to steal customers. We were going to the bartenders themselves, the staff, and saying, hey, this is a good spot. You know, when you get off work, where do you go? This is another good option. The
best experience I've had in downtown, this was years ago, was a complete accident. I won't get into the whole story, but meeting 2 friends for mariachi at I think it was Playground, whichever one, I remember where it was. We were meeting for mariachi. Both of us had appointments that got canceled, so there's 3 of us sitting there like, oh. And we just decided to go try a spot, and we went, and they weren't open yet. It was the Tough Luck Club. It was closed. And so they said, oh, you should go over to 47 Scott. That's how long it's ago. You go to 47 Scott because they've got good cocktails. We went to 47 Scott, and we told the server what we were doing, and they hadn't made us cocktails. And then he's like, oh, if you really like this, you should go over to Panka, because Brian used to work here and he's over there. So we went to Panka, and then we got done. We said, Brian, where do we go next? And we spent the entire day just going on bartender suggestion from restaurant to restaurant. And it was spread out through the entire day. So it wasn't like we got, you know, incredibly overserved or anything. It was a nice day, but it was a chance to explore all these different areas and get the insight from the bartender, because every bartender that I've met now, I realize has worked at 4 other places.
Absolutely.
It's a shared community downtown for sure.
And they know each other, and they know how, anyway. So this idea of moving people through an area, because you experience more than just the drinks. You get to see the art, you get to see the commerce, you get to see all of these elements. And Downtown Tucson Partnership now, I know, is working with Main Gate, Rialto, but Mercado and 4th Avenue to create more of a district feel. Like if you like on the outside of the Chicago store, you see that banner that's up there and it says what's happening on 4th Avenue, what's happening in Main Gate, because they're trying to get people to what you just said. It's all connected through that rail line.
Yeah.
Which is the streetcar, and we're Life Along the Streetcar. We've been promoting this since 2017, and now apparently we're going to be sponsoring a cocktail contest.
This is great. I can't wait to have the streetcar on the menu, right?
What you just explained, though, is such fun market research. I mean, what a neat space that we all get to occupy to go and learn about our individual businesses by going and drinking at different bars. I mean, as long as, we don't get as long as you don't have a problem with alcohol, what a great opportunity that is, I think.
Yeah, and again, I think some of the experiences would be fun just to be a part of the group, even if it's not something something that you want to partake in the alcohol. I get off my soapbox about how wonderful downtown 4th Avenue, Main Gate, how these areas are for walking, and the artistic community and everything else are just absolutely fabulous.
Heck yeah!
So Stage Left is open, ready for business. And it's called Stage Left. I was talking to someone, and they were like, I don't know why they called it Stage Left, because it's on the right of the theater. It's Stage Left.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it makes a good conversation point, right? And it's funny, too, because somehow it made sense to me, and then nobody gets the name right. I've heard Stagecoach, Right Stage. What's that place? Some people still call it Shot Time, right? Anyway, it's open 7 days a week, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., just a good, comfortable neighborhood bar.
Food?
So you get a full menu availability from Jaime's Pizza Kitchen.
Okay.
So you can order it right at the bar. They'll bring it right over.
Okay.
Also, we just some specific,
Yeah, we're starting new specials too. Jaime's, Gabe and Vivian are great, and they're creating some products that they don't normally serve that they're doing it just for our menu at Stage Left.
Nice.
So we just rolled out some deviled eggs just yesterday, actually, and they're incredible. They're delicious, and it's only $5. You get 4 deviled eggs with some candied bacon, house-made pickled jalapenos. Gabe knocked it out of the park on this one, and we wanted the price point to match kind of our customer base and our drink prices. I mean, you can get a shot and a beer for $6. We got $5 shot specials all the time. Really reasonable prices, honestly.
And you're only open days that the Rialto has a show?
Yeah, it feels like that sometimes. No, it's, in the early going, it's hard to let people know we're there. And it's amazing how much the foot traffic is different on one block compared to another. But no, we're open 7 days a week. Obviously, perfect. In fact, if you have a ticket to the show at the Rialto, you get 50% off your first drink.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, come in
That's
before
fantastic.
the show at the Rialto, show your ticket, 50% off our already crazy cheap prices. Cheap is the wrong word. Reasonable prices.
Affordable.
inexpensive, right?
But we've created something cool. It's really fun. The artwork in there is cool. Rialto provided us over 500 posters from their shows, and those are just like wallpapered on the wall.
I went
With
in
the original authentic signatures on them also.
Yeah.
Wow. I went in and I saw some of those. I didn't realize there were 500.
Yeah, it's incredible how much it takes to fill up that much wall space. But
Just that's the amount of research I did. I went and had a beer station. That was the extent of it.
perfect.
Well, I appreciate the both of you. I know you're really busy taking the time. It's been great to get to know you a little bit better, and I appreciate what you're doing for our urban area, because it's not just about bars. It really is about community and culture, and you're kind of bringing those things out through the works that you're doing. So I do appreciate that.
Thank you. That's nice to say.
And I'd love to get you back, and as we celebrate, maybe we'll bring you on with the winner of the Streetcar Cocktail Contest.
Yeah,
We're going to work it. This is going to happen.
We should have some fun events coming up, so that would be great.
All right. Well, my name is Tom Heath. I am your host for Life Along the Streetcar. We don't make this happen without our executive producer, James Portis, who makes sure all of this actually comes together. We appreciate Ryan Hood for allowing us to use their music to open and close our show each and every episode we've done since 2017. And really appreciate your time. Tune in every Sunday for another episode of Life Along the Streetcar. And until the next time, stay curious, Tucson.